You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you find, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
There we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me? But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
which if extrapolated back is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells.
Dondee,
Yes, indeed.
let me just start the first question with, what was it? I mean, you were wildly successful. You were wildly successful in your own practice. What was it that made you even consider, a new direction or the potential of joining this industry where you might have some people question that decision? What was it in the beginning that really caught your attention?
Well, it was quite honestly, Tyler, it was the science. But I was at a moment in my life that I had, despite the success in my practice professionally, I was really struggling personally because I had two children at home that I literally never saw based on the demands of my practice. Because not only was I in practice and seeing patients, that many patients, we also had an AM talk radio show every Saturday on two different stations here, AM stations here in the Phoenix Valley, KFNX 1100 and KPXQ 1360. So I was literally never home. And so I wanted to be daddy, but doctor was taking all my daddy time. And it wasn't until I just started praying about something to change that I could be a part-time daddy and a part-time doctor, where LifeVantage came into my life. But I will tell you, I was a very reluctant recruit because I had a sign on my practice door that said no soliciting. And it mentioned two companies by name because they were the two most prevalent in my area right now. And so I literally wanted no part of network marketing, and not because I had ever tried it, in full transparency, because I had never tried it. But I didn't know anybody who did. I got solicited a ton. And before I opened my practice here in Arizona, because the permits took about 3 months longer than they were supposed to, I had a lot of free time. And I went into the court system here in Arizona to see what chiropractors were being disciplined for as far as their license is concerned. And I saw a repeated habit over and over, that they were selling network marketing distributed products that had no clinical sense. In other words, they were selling candles and press-on nails. I remember that one. That I just didn't understand why doctors would be selling candles and press-on nails to their patients. So that just reaffirmed why network marketing was not in my future. But it wasn't until Protandem, which was not a network marketing product, when I started taking it. It was off the shelf at GNC. And I had tremendous success personally with a knee injury and bringing it into first 5 initial patients and then over 30 when I got a call from an amazing firefighter in Tucson by the name of Blue Elam, who shared with me this company and this product that I was already taking, already had it deeply entrenched into my practice. And the only reason I decided on that was because of the science. And as a professional looking, and it was not network marketing, so I didn't scrutinize it that way, but it had to be something that stood up to the science scrutiny, which I put it through, and it did. And then once I saw that it was going into network marketing, I had a decision to make, to either get over my opinion of it or have my prayers answered in something I didn't see coming. So to answer your question, Tyler, it began and it ended with the legitimate science, the finished product science, not the ingredients-based science, in medical journals that I was already reading. So that was the only thing that I needed to see, and it was extremely profound, and I'd never seen it anywhere else.
I love that. I think that's the experience of a lot of the people in this. I've heard that everywhere I go. I mean, it's some version of that. I was either really, really busy, didn't have a ton of time. I needed something with validation. I knew the industry didn't have a lot of validation. I was excited about a company that had validation, and I wanted to be a part of that, right? Yep. So tell us really quick, if you will, don't explain this at the level that you understand it, okay? Will you please explain this at a level that I would understand? I mean, I'm just a real estate appraiser from Central Utah. I know there's a lot of people on this call that might be out in the middle of somewhere, in the middle of, that are wondering, do I have to know what Dondee knows to be successful? What is it about Protandem? I mean, tell us what Protandem is in the most layman's terms you possibly can.
Absolutely. Well, it capitalizes on a major advancement in science. And I'm going to go all the way back to 2002. I read a book in 2002 and I brought it because it was a very pivotal book in my life. It's called Never Be Sick Again. And the author's name is Raymond Francis. And in 2002, he talked about all disease having one common denominator: cellular malfunction. No matter what disease it is, whether it's an inconvenient disease like back pain or a terminal disease like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and things of that nature, they all have one common denominator, and it is cellular malfunction. In other words, some cells are malfunctioning, and as a result, we call it a disease, and sometimes it can be terminal. But he went in a deeper level, And of the one disease, cellular malfunction, there's only two causes, and that is deficiency and toxicity. And we are deficient in something, and as a result, the cells start functioning normally and they start malfunctioning, and then left long enough, we call it a disease. Or the other is they're deficient in something, they need something they don't have, and they're not getting it. And so as a result, if left left that way, it will start to malfunction. So toxicity and deficiency are the only two causes of all disease, and activation handles them both. And so when I saw the magnitude of that, it was purely the magnitude. And I understood antioxidants and I understood ORAC values, which most people who understand antioxidants kind of measure it in an ORAC value, which stands for oxygen radical absorbance capacity. The higher the number, the stronger the antioxidant, which is where the blueberries and the oranges and the turmeric and all the spices come in. And that was the model. That was the prevailing model until activation. And it literally is a 1-to-1 ratio with the spices and the berries and the super fruits from the exotic corners of the rainforest somewhere you've never heard of, and it comes highly toted, or when your cells do it by themselves. So 1-to-1, meaning whatever that ORAC value is, and I'll give you an example. Turmeric it has about a 15,000 ORAC value, but it would take 66 tablespoons of turmeric every single second to come close to what you see in that blue bottle right there. 66 tablespoons. Nobody has the ability to even consume 66 tablespoons per second. Well, when it's your cells doing it, it's 1-to-1, meaning one number of that 15,000 will neutralize one free radical. So turmeric neutralizes 15,000 free radicals per second, but it's 1-to-1 million per second. Every molecule, and there's millions in every cell of your body, every single one of them is neutralizing 1 million free radicals per second, every second, ongoing. It was exponential. So and I looked at it, I looked a little deeper until I got to a number I couldn't even fathom. And that's how many free radicals does the human body create in one day just by keeping up with its BMI, its basal metabolic index, just by breathing. 300 sextillion free radicals every 24 hours. That's a 3 with 23 zeros after it. So how many tablespoons of turmeric at 15,000 molecules or 15,000 free radicals neutralized, how many tablespoons of turmeric would you have to eat? Beyond human capacity, that's how much. And that's when I realized 66 tablespoons every second of turmeric, or 1 tablet per day. It was a very, very easy question for me to answer. And that's when I realized this is where I have to finally adhere to 100% of my Hippocratic oath that I took as a chiropractor. And that is, first, to do no harm. Second, to do everything within my power, my education, and my experience to do right by my patients. And once I understood the magnitude of that, I had to tell my patients. I had an ethical and moral responsibility to forget whether they bought it or not, or believe me or not. I had an ethical responsibility, and not just to my patients, to the world at large. And that's when I decided to jump into this company. And 18 months later, back in 2009, in 2010, I sold my practice, and I've been a stay-at-home dad for the last 14 years, thanks to LifeVantage and what it's doing for people in the world. So it was an easy decision for me. That 1-to-1 versus 1-to-1 million made it super simple. And that's not my opinion. That's published in medical journals. Read them yourself.
All right, next thing. Let's go to this next slide, you guys. We're pretty proud of what's happened here just recently. We went out to a bunch of consultants. We said, hey, what do we need to do? We have one of the most standalone products out there for all the reasons that Dr. Nettles just talked about. We have this. What can we do? And they said, you need to add collagen. Now, I will tell you, when I first heard about this, I was not fired up. I was like, wow, really, collagen? And because I didn't understand, I did not know what collagen would do. So I am really excited to have Dr. Nettles tell us, what does the combination of Protandim and collagen, what is the significance of those two things together if someone really does care about their health, or if they're looking for that health solution? What is that significance?
Great question, Tyler, and thank you so much. And I will mirror what you just said, because I remember hearing about the new product collagen coming out, and I was like, great, we're getting into the beauty world again. I thought and nothing against that. I just didn't think it was going to be a product that had merit, because I understood supplementation as far as collagen is concerned. I did not understand collagen activation. So if you look at the blue bottle, the Protandim NRF2, it reduces oxidative stress. by 40% in 30 days. And maybe some of you on today's Zoom have never heard of oxidative stress. Well, let's forget the first word and just focus on the second. Stress. You understand what stress is. If you're under stress, you're not as good of a husband or a wife or an employee or a dad or an uncle or whatever it is, even a neighbor. When stress enters the equation, you are less than your potential. So it starts there. That's the foundation. Reduce the oxidative stress or reduce the overall stress to every one of your cells. That's the benchmark. That's the foundation. Now we can build on top of that with collagen, because every single joint in your body, all 5 things that make it up, the bone, the muscle, the tendon, the ligament, and the cartilage, all of them are made of collagen. Everything that holds you together, your brain, your heart, your cardiovascular system, all of your muscles, your nerves, everything is made with collagen. It is literally what holds you together. So if you have a foundation of less cellular stress overall, and now you add back in not just supplementing collagen. So in that beautiful brown and pink bottle, there is an amazing amount of collagen. But that's not the benefit, because it's not the only collagen containing product out there. Some of you are already on one. You mix it in your coffee every day. You buy it in the blue tub at your average warehouse. But it doesn't tell you to take before and after pictures. And most of the time it's because they're not expecting any profound visible results. This one is different. And the reason why it's different is it turns your body's ability to make its own collagen back on again. And when I found that out, I completely abandoned my previous my previous understanding of, wow, why are we doing this product? Then I understood exactly why. Because as a chiropractor, every single disc in every vertebra is made of 60% collagen on the outside and 40% collagen on the inside. And now we're starting to see x-rays where they're actually getting bigger disc spaces again, which never happens. But it matters now how you feel on the inside. So if you're looking better in those before and after pictures, imagine what's happening on the inside. And here's the thing that blows me away, Tyler. With the ability of the human body, it prioritizes its own need. And that is, supplements don't do that. You can take a supplement, and if you take too little, you're still going to have the symptoms, though they may be reduced a little bit if that's what you're focusing on. Or you can take too much and have an adverse reaction. But the body, when left to its own devices and making its own collagen, making its own antioxidant enzymes, never, ever, ever makes too little or too much. It always makes the right amount for your need, but your need may be different than the person who's taking the same products. And so your experience may be different, because your hierarchy of need is determined by your body's innate wisdom, not the benefit of the products. And so someone may take the products and have a great experience. Someone else may take the products and have a completely different experience, but also great, based on the needs of that person. That is what activation does that supplements can't do. It's empowering the human body to do what it's designed to do in the proper priority.
Let's dive into fat burn really quick. We've got a really cool product coming up here in a couple slides. Why is fat burn one of those things people should be paying more attention to? What is the fat burn? Tell us about this, Dondee. How does fat burn start to prepare you for what our company's doing in October?
That's a great question. And what fat burn does is it redesigns and reconfigures your body's metabolic process. So rather than your body burning the calories that you're eating in the last meal that you ate as its primary source of energy, it'll break down your own fat and use that. And that is it is an incredibly wise, and it is an incredibly normal process. And the ingredients of fat burn stimulate that process. So literally, just by taking this product, you're going to burn an extra 181 calories every single day by breaking down your body's fat, because it breaks down the fat, turns the fat into carbohydrates, and then burns the carbohydrates as energy, rather than using the energy from the food that you ate. And as soon as your food is done, then you get hungry again. This is incredible from 2 different ways: burning your fat, metabolizing your fat, reducing your body's cellular fat, and giving you extra calories to burn, rather than relying simply on your carbohydrates. But it's also makes your organs function better, makes your body function better, because it's a more efficient pathway when you've got the carbohydrate metabolism and the fat metabolism happening simultaneously. And this product does it. It's literally the equivalent of getting 4,000 more steps every day.
At this stage, Dondee, would it be fair for me to tell friends and family, people that I care about, would it be fair to me to say, make your body work right? I mean, give your body the best chance. Your body knows how to do it. It knows what to do. It did when you were younger. It's just kind of slowing down with age. I mean, we're programmed to do that. Reverse the program, right? Give it the building blocks. Would it be fair to say your cells need the building blocks? would it be fair to then say, and if you can start burning that or turning that bad fat into good fat or burning the fat the way you're supposed to do it, at the end of the day, all of those things are going to contribute to a way healthier lifestyle. Would that be a fair thing to say?
It would be a very, very fair thing to say. And to your point, what you've said numerous times, Tyler, is that these products help our bodies function the way they did when we were younger. And I want people to truly understand the impact of that statement, because there's only two phases of human life. There's the growth phase and there's the aging phase. The growth phase starts when we're born and it goes to about our mid-20s. And then the aging phase starts immediately after that. Well, here's the reality. Under normal circumstances, nothing dies while it's growing. It only dies while it's aging. So if we can take an aging population and make their bodies function the way they did when they were younger and functioning that way, then we're focusing on efficiency of body function and not treating symptoms. And if we can, the earlier we can do that, if we optimize cellular function, we optimize innate potential to make it work the way it did when we were younger, you can't get better than that. And these products are doing it daily.
Let's jump into the very next one. Gentry, give us that next slide, because I think now that you've listened to Don, I know you're impressed as I am. I know you are. And if you're brand new, I know there's a lot of information. You're going to love every time you open a door, you're going to love the information behind it. But it leads me to this. It's one thing for my body to be working great. It's one thing for me to feel great. It's one thing for me to have energy. But I'll tell you, I'm not sure any of that matters if my mind isn't right, if I don't have clarity, right? Can you explain to everybody what the Axial product is and the importance that it has for just helping your brain?
Yeah, it's categorized as an energy drink, but that tremendously undersells it, because it's called a nootropic. It's literally a mental and brain function optimizer. So what this product does, and there's caffeinated versions, there's decaffeinated versions, it literally allows our brain chemistry, our neurotransmitters specifically, to balance themselves. And so we have things like dopamine and serotonin and adrenaline and noradrenaline and epinephrine and norepinephrine. Those are the 6 primary neurotransmitters of the brain. Well, the brain, if it cannot understand its own limitations and doesn't understand the body's needs, it can't remedy them. This product allows efficiency, focus, attention span, short-term memory improvement by focusing on balancing neurotransmitters. And so when the brain chemistry is optimized, it can fix a lot of its own issues just simply by focusing the attention on it. But when it's distracted because the neurotransmitters are out of balance, it simply doesn't do that. So what this product does, in a nutshell, is improve brain function to allow our brain to, one, remedy its own issues and then be able to remedy the issues of the body. But it can only do that if it's communicating with itself at an optimal level. And that's exactly what this product does.
So as this company's evolved over the 14, 15 years that you've been a part of it, are you pretty happy with where this company is at today? Did you have any idea it was going to be here 15 years ago?
No, I had no idea. I mean, I did on a little scale, but as we continued to add activating products, the enormity of it and the potential globally keeps getting bigger and bigger. And here's really why this is so profound right now, Tyler, because the world literally doesn't understand activation yet. And that is our responsibility. And we are in position one. When the world finally understands what activation is, we've been here all along. And so I mentioned when I alluded back in 2002 in that book, Never Be Sick Again, was written. A year later, actually less than a year later, there was a global project that was completed called the Human Genome Project. And ever since 2003 up to present, for the last 21 years, there has been a race in the private sector, in the public sector, in the network marketing sector to optimize cellular performance at the DNA level. And we are the only company on planet Earth that is doing it the right way. And you can do it nutraceutically. They're trying to do it pharmaceutically. And as you mentioned when you introduced me, I was born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area. It used to be the .com capital of the world. It is now the biotech capital of the world. And people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Apple and Google, they have invested billions and billions of dollars to try to find pharmaceutical versions of what we already have, and they don't have any yet. But the day will come when they do come out with something, and when that day happens, this box is going to be relevant. Because this box, people will call this Kleenex, but if you read on the bottom, it's the Kirkland brand. Kirkland hates the fact we call this Kleenex. Kleenex loves the fact we call this Kleenex. And why do we call this Kleenex? Because they were first. We are first. We are the activation company. We are the only activation company with bona fide science, with a 20+ year head start and products to market that are actually making a difference. When the world catches on to what we have, because we are literally right now, we are creating the first generation of human species in human history that will never have to experience oxidative stress at a high level. They will never have to experience collagen deficiency at a high level. They will never have to experience other pathways that we haven't even talked about, and some we have talked about, mitochondria depletion or NAD depletion. They will never have to experience that unless they choose to be ignorant about what they're hearing and they choose to turn a deaf ear to it. That's on them, but the reality of it is it's well published, it's well understood. We've been doing it for over 20 years, and we are in position one to dominate when the world finally finds out what we're talking about is true.
You guys, I know you guys been listening to the rest of the night. I know I can too. We have one more. We have one more of the most exciting things coming. Why does GLP-1 matter? I mean, what is so significant about GLP-1 as we get ready for what we believe is going to be the biggest launch our company has seen in probably the last decade?
Great question. And I think a big part of that answer, Tyler, is when we came out with the collagen product, we came out with the product that people already understood on some level. This is an even bigger level of understanding, is people understand weight management, and they understand losing weight, and they understand yo-yo diets, and they know they don't like them. So the reality is over 50% of the US population is focused on their weight and managing their weight. And almost every year, New Year's resolutions, the number one thing is to lose weight. And so it's a very common subject. And we are dealing now with the ability to look at physical hunger versus emotional hunger, or what I call the seafood diet. You see the food, you want to eat it, or you're influenced by the commercials, and people capitalize on that. Marketing capitalizes on your inability to say no to something that looks good to you. It's a reality. So it's why this works so well, why this GLP-1 works so well is when we eat food, your body releases GLP-1 naturally to prolong the emptying of your stomach. In other words, to keep with the contents of your food in your stomach longer. It does that by design. But just like all the other products we talked about, and you're mentioning, it gets back to the efficiency when we were younger. This is the exact same scenario. So as we're eating and we're eating food, what this new product is going to do and why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, Tyler, it will give you the feeling of being full longer. And it will also curb your hunger. So we eat sometimes that physical hunger. When we get hungry, it's the body's signal, and I can't go into that. There's a reason for that. But when you are hungry, your body sends a signal to you to stimulate that hunger, and then you go eat. Most of the time, or a lot of times, we can overeat. This will help with that. So it's going to help you feel fuller longer and curb your hunger cravings so that we are eating a much more nutrient dense and much more caloric friendly food intake for us so that we're not getting excess calories, which put on as body weight. It's a multifaceted approach, but just suffice to say the two things we're going to be benefiting from the most is feeling fuller longer and curbing the hunger that we typically have.